Hi and welcome back, or welcome to Weirdy Tropicals, whether it's your first time or whether you're returning. If it's your first time, don't forget to click subscribe, help join our little community that we're growing. And if you're returning, I really do appreciate you. It really motivates me to keep going through the tough times of making the videos and having the ideas and things like that. So without further waffle, what are we here for today? It's going to be me running over some options to what propagators that I use and things like that. And I believe it's going to be the most inclusive video in YouTube's history as far as tropical seed grow-alongs are concerned, maybe even the world. Oh, what a bold statement to start with. But what I mean by that is, regardless of your budget, you're going to be able to grow something with me. We're going to be able to start off, whether it's through yogurt pots and some on the kitchen side, and I'm going to show you the different transitions right down to the Vitopods at the other end of the scale, whether or not you're doing it for a hobby or more of a kind of money spinner, whatever it is that you want to do. So to get you kind of hooked on that before we go to the video, I'm going to show you a couple of plants that are just looking great this time of year that I've all grown from seed myself. Starting off with the best named plant probably in the world, which is the Phytolacca boom. Whoever named that is an absolute genius. An absolutely really interesting agave there, Queen Victoria agave. Again, looks absolutely fantastic. If that's not enough to get you hooked, I've got the banana, Muscat flaviflora. Look at that little beauty there. I love germinating banana seeds. And then I've got the tree dandelion, Sonchus palmensis. It's an absolute stunner for a shade section. If that wasn't enough to get you hooked, give me another couple of minutes and we'll see where we go. If you've got any questions, I've got the community tab open as well as the comments. But without further waffle, let's get at it. So the same as every single one of my videos, I have no idea what's coming out of my mouth until you guys are hearing it as well. So I thought what I was going to do today is literally just go and get a selection of different things that I've got, show you kind of how I evolved the business from what I did, and as well as like the amount of times that people see my Vitopod and things like that and go, oh, you know, I wish I had X, Y, and Z. If you've got a windowsill and some seed and a little dinky container, whether it's a yogurt pot, you just put some holes in the bottom, you can take part in this. So I started off at the very bottom as well, so like with the budget options, because I didn't know if things were going to work or not. So it's not worth, in my opinion, of starting off with the really high end, getting all the stuff and, as I say, having all the gear and no idea. Put minuscule amounts in and do what I did. I invested every single cent that I earned from Weirdy Tropicals plant sales into my equipment. The favourite time that I ever had with growing these things was when I had these little dinky things. And without further waffle, I'm going to get at it. I'm going to show some bad examples of these things though as well, and some good examples. So first things first, I started off with one of these little 12 cell, put my little chili seeds in using little queer pellets, and on my grow along video I'm going to show you what they are, but essentially they're little tiny kind of like tube shaped things that you soak in water and you can plonk those in and then you can poke the seeds in. And the benefit of that is once they're ready, instead of having to like detangle all the roots, you can literally simply pull them out and plant them on. And then these come with very standardized little lids, which are these. You pop that on top and it has a little thing that you can turn on the top, just to let a little bit of the heat out. You can start that for next to nothing. These were literally cheap as chips. I think I got a pack of 5 of them for like 10 quid or something like that. I can't remember, it was years back now, but it wasn't a lot of money. I bought packs of chili seeds and I had such great germination success with these that it spurred me on. And what I'm here to do today is not to rub Vitopod's ego. It has enough people singing its praises and saying how good it is and all the rest of it. I want to encourage anybody that's got 10 or 20 quid that we can encourage with this, or if you've got £4 or £5 you want to get a pack of can of seeds and you've got a yogurt pot, let's just go for it. And then you can do what I do, either invest the money or spend it on beer tokens. It's up to yourself. Do what you want with your money that you earn, or if you're just doing it to fill out the borders, that's cracking as well. So first shout, it's just your standardized nice little set, keeps it all compact, keeps your house looking tidy as well, if you want to put that on a windowsill rather than having a load of yogurt pots everywhere. But do what you got to do. They work quite well because it gives you a good couple of weeks before they hit the roof. As soon as they've hit, you can take the lid off anyway. So actually you can grow those on a couple of months before the season starts, and it just gives you that little bit of a head start. Additionally to that, again, none of these are sponsored. I bought one that was from Temu, and it's got a much larger dome on it compared to the other one. If I show you that one, the dome sizes are quite a significant difference. That'll give you another month probably, or a couple of weeks extra. The additional benefit is inside. I don't know if that'll pull it up, but it's got LEDs in it. So you put your little connection into the top, and that's got a little grow light built in. Same idea with the base and all the rest of it. And I thought that was fantastic. I've got like a little device that I can check if the light was coming out, and it was enough. I had no yellowing seedlings or anything like that. So Temu on there. I would link in the description, but I'm not sponsored anyway, but not because of that. It's because things on Temu, the sellers change all the time. So I know a lot of people that have linked to Temu, when people click on the links, they don't work anymore, but that's a wicked option. If you just type in seed propagator with LED, that will pop up, no problem. There'll be probably about 1 million options. The one thing I would be careful with, and that's going too cheap. So I did buy these on Amazon, and look, they've melted, completely destroyed. So where possible, try, if there's a really cheap option and a better option, try and go for the one that's either got the better reviews or whatnot, because that could have destroyed the grow mat as well, and the grow mat was like 50 quid, so it wasn't worth really saving a few quid. And I'm glad I actually saw that. It was only because I could see that the tray, the clear part that was inside of it, was protruding like that, and I thought, what was going on? So you got to be careful, and they were only set to like 20-25 degrees. Thing is with these as well, when you're growing with these, that's what they can heat up to, but of course the ambient temperature, so if it was like -1 in here, it's only going to get to like 11 degrees, which isn't enough. So I insulate underneath the bottom of the Vitopods, and I'll put a little bit of foam and stuff around it just to try and get that up. Otherwise, you're actually never going to hit the minimum criteria. I'm going to move these. That's how little planning I've done. I've got no table to put this stuff on. On from that one, I got one from my wife when I'd had a successful season. She's probably sick and tired, truth be told, of all these little things. I had probably 12 of those on the kitchen windowsill. And I do get away with murder, truth be told, but I think there's a limit with everybody's relationship of what you're going to get away with. And having all these, especially she didn't marry a plant person, I kind of got this after we kind of got married. So it was a bit of a surprise for that. I'd kind of got all these green babies anyway. So the next thing, without further waffle, was just a nice, beautiful big lid. Apologies, it's absolutely filthy. I've just pulled this out of the shed storage. It needs to get cleaned before you use this. And it comes with a stacker. So that, and then obviously you've got a green base, and again, absolutely filthy. Apologies for that. And then I just did a drill mark there. I kind of just put the drill on top of it and did it so the cable for the heater, the diode, could come out without keeping the lid open. And all they do is they simply stack on top of each other like that. You've got a beautiful growing space there, which is probably about 1 foot tall. It just gives you that addition on moving on from the little sets, and I put that straight on top of it. I bought one, a really cheap one that had like no thermostat on it, so it was just on or off, and I left that on 24 hours a day. And then what I did was during the day, if I felt like nice and warm, I'd put the little fan on it and I'd take the lid off the top. That was a nice little transition. Again, it's like 40 or 50 pound, and I got one that had like 2 or 3 stackers. So it ended up being about 2 or 3 foot tall. So the first year when I was growing things like the cannas, hedechiums and all that kind of stuff, and I had a plant show in April, the stuff was ready, looking absolutely glorious by the time I took it out, because it was just in the right environment. The whole point of this is just buying a few extra months so I can be growing things in December that most people wouldn't start until like April or May. That's why we do what we do, and put the heating through it and all the rest of it, because without that you can grow them without any of this equipment. You just wait longer, so your plant in April or May just won't be as big as mine is. It won't have as many leaves on it and that kind of thing. So if you want to grow without any heat mats and stuff like that, again, yogurt pot, put it in the garden, and these things will grow. Like the seeds, they do want to germinate, and there's enough energy stored within like corn seed bulbs, whatever you're growing, in order to get the first couple of leaves out without any additional stuff anyway. So thought I'd put that caveat in case you think, actually, Ed, we don't need any of this stuff to grow. You don't. But if you want bigger and badder plants, then you do. Like it's a nice little addition to kind of put in there. And then just to bring you into the greenhouse that I never film from, because it's a little bit of a mess. It's got all the overwintering stuff behind me. There's an option with the built-in base. I believe the company's called Stewart, but it comes with a really hard, not hard enough to not be snap it in half. I threw it in on top of the plug. So and then I piled a load of propagators on and it broke. But there is one that has an integrated heat mat into the base as well. So you just plug that in. So anybody that was kind of thinking a bit more of the, I don't want heat mat kind of underneath and stuff like that, you can get that one. I'm pretty confident it was called Stuart, the range, but have a little look. You can get them integrated as well. Without further waffle, I will show you what the Vitopod looks like, and I'll give you a little bit of kind of why I would buy it or why I wouldn't buy it now. All right. So bringing you right into the rafters of the greenhouse now. These are the Vitopods. So I will do a bit of overlay so you can kind of see what they are. But essentially they're about 3 or 4 foot across, and I've got a triple stacker with these, so it takes up to about 2 or 3 foot in height as well. I've got suspended above that grow lights. I can't put these on because it does make the recording go absolutely crazy. But with the triple stacker, they kind of come up to about, like I say, a decent size. I'd say 2 or 3 foot. The benefit of these is you can put in, as you can see, an awful lot of things. Additional to that, it's things like the heat that kind of goes through it. It's supposed to be consistent heat all the way through because of how the coils are underneath, where heat mats you will get hot and cold spots unless you spend an absolute fortune, and then I'm sure they're probably equally as good. But you could just stack an awful lot of things in here. So why would you spend 300, 400, 500 quid? I can't remember what these cost now. I don't remember the light kit was about 90 quid or 120 quid. It was somewhere in that range, and it did alarm me that, bearing in mind these are about 50 quid. And it only sat on top, so I had to keep taking the light bulbs off. But why would you buy this over a 40, 50 pound kit or a 10 pound kit? If you're a hobbyist, you probably wouldn't, truth be told, unless you were going to get the value for money out of it that season. So if we filled this with cannas, hedechiums, loads of other bits and bobs that we thought, right, if I'd gone to B&M or if I'd gone somewhere else, I'm going to spend that 100 quid anyway on buying those plants or whatnot. And you throw the seed in year on year, eventually you will get your money back, right? If you're just doing it just to put a couple of things in the borders, it's probably not worth doing. If you're doing it for commercial application like I do, I have 2 Vitopods next to each other. I grow all my seedlings in and I sell those plants at plant fairs all the time, and I make the money back in the first year. And then, like I say, I bought the second one. So it's worth doing for that. But if you're at home, I've seen so many people recommending Vitopods, and if the reason I'm kind of wouldn't recommend it for someone first starting off, it's such an investment. If the seeds don't take, or if you lose interest in it, you've got an awful lot of money to make back. So the yogurt pot thing is where I started, and I built up, and this felt like an upgrade to me as well, because I had grown in those conditions, like with the smaller things. And it's only because instead of me having multiple propagators, and probably in that space I'd probably fit 3 or 4 of the bigger one that I've got on the floor, I'd have to have 3 heat mats, 3 sets of lights, so they all were getting the same, or at least 2 kind of dissipating over the lot. So there's a plug for that light, a plug for the next light, 3 plugs for that. So you need 5 plugs straight away. The electrics, if you can see them in the corner in here, are horrific. Thank God they're miles away from the house. It's all run off extension leads, so it's completely against anything that looks professional in any way, shape or form. And I will at some point, maybe this year's profit, put armoured cable in for that. But without having loads of sockets in the greenhouse, if you were to set up needing 5, that's 1 extension lead gone straight away. Then you need like the heater and stuff for the actual general greenhouse, like I've said before, like to put the airflow in there as well. I use a dehumidifier, so the air that I breathe in here feels really nice. The glass isn't all steamed up all the time. Again, massive optional extra on there as well. So I've got probably 10 things plugged in plugs. The last thing I want is another 5 or 10, because it would probably burn to the ground. So if you were doing it on a more commercial application, trying to run a plant business, that type of thing where you know you can make the money back, then I would definitely get one of these. They are great, and in such a small amount of space I can put so many different seed trays in there, because I use the quarter size seed trays, which I found from watching Craig over at Grow Paradise when I was on the seed club. Part of that, that's what he used to use. I used to use a lot bigger ones, and you'd get less varieties in there. So it's worth stuffing those all in there, closing the lid down, and as they build up, you put these stackers on top, lock those in place, and then you put the next one on top. If you've got 2 like me, if that one's still on seedling, I can nick one from that as well. Put it 5 stack of these. Lights are all adjustable as well. So that's kind of my setup, going right from the basic version up to the kind of industrial application for that. So just to hammer my point home, just in case I wasn't absolutely crystal, If you've never grown anything from seed, start off with your yogurt pots or get one of those little green sets with a 12 cell in it. You will not regret it. We'll easily be able to show you with a pack of canners how you can recuperate that money back, which is how I justified it to the wife in the very beginning, saying, listen, if I spend the money now, I'll get it back later. We then invest that money into the second one with a stacker on it with a little heat mat underneath it. Or if you're cash flush and money's no object, go straight to the Vitopod if you want. It's really up to yourself. Like I say, these are not an endorsement of the Vitopod. They've had so much airtime with people banging on about how good they are. I thought I'd give the other options a go. And also I want more people involved, more people seeing £300, £400, £500 heating and lighting setups and stuff. The more people are just going to go, actually, I'll just go and buy the plant. I want more people growing from seed. It's such a nice feeling when you get somewhere to germinate, whether it's an easy thing like a canner, or whether it's like the Manny Hot, which I've still not cracked yet. I've had one success in 3 seed packets, so I'm nowhere near an expert on that. There's so much stuff to learn all the time. But we can grow everything together, and I want to make sure that everybody was inclusive. It's probably the most inclusive video on YouTube. I want every single person that is thinking about growing a seed to watch my seed grow alongs. We'll have a laugh together, we'll get stuff banged out, and then I've got the community open now so you can post all your successes in there, the failures. I messed up so many seeds this year. It is what it is. The greenhouse caught me out. I went on holiday, come back, the seedlings were finished. So you've always got stuff to learn with the seed grow along and growing plants, which is why I find it fascinating, because if you're anything like me, if I complete something, if I get into a job and I learn everything about that, I get bored really quickly and then I'm looking for something else. With plants, yeah, I could live to 1,000 years and I'll always be finding something, some different challenge, some new variety to go. So it's an addictive thing to get started, but I'm just encouraging more of you to start that journey with us. Like I said, I don't earn any commission out of any of this stuff at all. I'm trying to bring it as cheap as possible because it would be counterproductive if I was making a ton of money on the back of this. What I'd like if everybody can do, just to keep me motivated to keep doing the videos and stuff like that, because it takes up an awful lot of time coming up with the ideas and things like that. If you would subscribe to my channel, it shows YouTube that not only yourself, but people that watch similar things might be interested in my videos, as well as spurring me on is the main thing, because sometimes you get inside your own head and you're thinking, should I carry on making these videos? Is anybody even bothered about watching the different things? So if you got anything positive to say, bang it in the comments. I love all of that stuff. If you got anything negative, don't bother. But hopefully this waffle has been useful in some way, shape or form. Hopefully I haven't alarmed anybody coming to you today without my hat on. I just thought I'd show you that I do have a decent head of hair underneath that hat. But hopefully I haven't alarmed anybody, and it might not be a regular thing that I'll be doing going forward. But really do appreciate every single one of you that watches the videos. It does spur me on. But thanks again for watching. If you've got any comments about any of the setup or where to get anything from, let me know in the comments as well. Thanks for watching.